Shabbat Shalom. This is Larry Mitchell with Friends of Israel. We are continuing our verse-by-verse study through the Apocalypse of Jesus Christ, also known as the Book of the Revelation. And we are currently in Revelation chapter 13, a chapter which describes two beasts. And we looked at the introduction last week. The first beast is the Antichrist rising out of the sea. The second beast is the false prophet, the beast that rises out of the land. And so we're going to go back to the beginning of Revelation 13 and look at the introduction of the Antichrist. Revelation 13:1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. I saw a beast rise up. The Antichrist will be the darling of the world, but in God's eyes he's nothing more than an animal. He is a beast. In fact, he'll be lower than the animals. He'll be the scum of the earth in God's eyes. And the beast rises up out of the sea. The Antichrist will come from the revived Roman Empire. He will be a Gentile. And this is seen in his description of coming up out of the sea. The Old Testament used that figure of speech to describe armies of Gentiles. We see this in Ezekiel 26, verse 3. Therefore thus says the Lord God, behold, I am against thee, O Tyrus, and will cause many nations to come up against thee, as the sea causes the waves to come up. Having 7 heads. What do the 7 heads represent? They represent 2 things. Number 1, they represent the city of 7 hills, Rome. Secondly, they represent 7 kings or kingdoms. Revelation 17, 9 and 10. And here is the mind which had wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the women sitteth. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, 1 is, the other is not yet come, and when he cometh, he must continue a short space. When John wrote the Apocalypse, 5 of those kingdoms had come and gone. Those 5 kingdoms were Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, the Medo-Persian Empire, and Greece. The 6th kingdom existed when John wrote the Apocalypse, and that was Rome. And the 7th Gentile nation was yet to come, and that will be the revived 10-nation Roman Empire. These 7 pagan Gentile nations would all greatly influence Israel, have a great influence on Israel. Upon his head 10 horns. There are 10 kings or kingdoms which will back the Antichrist. Revelation 17 verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. And upon his head the name of blasphemy. The word blasphemy comes from the Greek word blasphemos, which means to slander or speak evil of. In Daniel 7 verse 8, describing the Antichrist, we see that he is a blasphemer. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, the Antichrist, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. Those great things are blaspheming the Lord. Read about that in Revelation 13:6. And the Antichrist opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. Revelation 13:2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were like the feet of a bear, and his mouth like the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, his seat, and great authority. These four beasts are described in the book of Daniel. In Daniel 7:4-7 we read, "The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and was lifted up from the earth, and made to stand upon his feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. And behold another beast, a second like unto a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and had 3 ribs in the mouth of it between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. After this I beheld another like a leopard, which had upon the back 4 wings of a fowl, and beast also had 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth, and devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet thereof, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns." Daniel was describing 4 mighty Gentile empires that God will raise up to judge, and in some cases, to liberate the children of Israel. Number 1 was Babylon, described as a lion. Number 2, the Medo-Persian Empire, described as a bear. Number 3, the Greeks, described as a leopard. Number 4, Rome, described as a dragon. Out of the Roman Empire would arise a revived 10-nation empire that will support the Antichrist. Shabbat Shalom. This is Larry Mitchell, Friends of Israel.